There's something nobody tells you about waiting for your soulmate. It's not just about patience, it's about holding on. When your heart is tired, your du'as are quiet, and your faith feels like it's walking alone. And if you've been there, if you're still there, scrolling through photos of weddings you're not invited to, congratulating people while swallowing your own questions, then this isn't just a video. It's a reminder from Allah that you're not forgotten. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, this wait you're going through, it's not meaningless. Sometimes, Allah delays a person in your life, not to punish you, but to protect you, to prepare you, to realign your heart with His love before anyone else comes near it. Because here's the truth, not every delay is a denial, and not every silence means you've been ignored. In fact, some of the most painful delays are actually proof that Allah loves you more than you understand right now. He's stopping you from settling. He's holding you back from something temporary because He's writing something eternal. So if you're here hoping for entertainment, for some viral love story or signs He likes you video, you're in the wrong place. But if you're here because your chest feels heavy, your tears have been private, and your hope is still alive even when your heart says it's tired, then stay. Inshallah, you'll hear something today that your soul has been waiting for. It's one of the hardest pills to swallow. Not because it's insulting, but because it's honest. You think you're ready for love, but spiritually, you're not. And Allah sees it. We live in a time where almost everything is about instant gratification. You see couples posting cute halal love captions on social media, nikah reels go viral with nasheed edits and flowers, and suddenly you start wondering, what's wrong with me? Why am I still alone? But here's something we rarely admit to ourselves. Marriage is not about being in love. It's about being responsible for someone's soul. It's about supporting someone in their deen, their growth, their mental battles, and even their trauma. And if you're struggling to hold yourself up, what makes you think you're ready to hold someone else? My dear brothers and sisters, Allah Almighty sees what you don't post. Allah Almighty sees the struggles you think are private, your missed prayers, your emotional instability, your anger problems, your loneliness that you try to cover up with distractions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees the wounds you haven't healed, the temptations you still fall into, the doubts you haven't dealt with yet. And Allah knows. If He gave you what you're asking for right now, it might break you. Or worse, it might break someone else. Sometimes the delay isn't punishment. It's a mercy. Imagine handing someone a newborn baby when they haven't even learned how to walk. That's what love would be like in the hands of someone spiritually unprepared. They'll drop it, even if they love it. Not because they're evil, but because they're weak. And Allah doesn't want you to carry what will crush you. This might raise a question in your heart. But what if I grow after marriage? Can't we grow together? Yes, growth after marriage is possible. And it's beautiful when it happens. But it's not guaranteed. Sometimes two people in need of healing don't help each other. They hurt each other even more, because they were both hoping the other person would fix them. But here's the thing, your spouse is not your savior. That role belongs to Allah alone. So if you're still clinging to sins, if your connection to Salah is weak, if you panic at the thought of relying on someone or being responsible for someone, these aren't flaws, but they are signs. Signs that Allah is calling you to heal, to strengthen your tawakkul, to purify your intentions, before Allah gives you someone else's heart to hold. And here's a deeper layer. Sometimes, Allah delays your soulmate not because you're a bad person, but because the person He's preparing for you deserves a better version of you. Not a perfect version, a growing one, a sincere one. So if your du'as feel unanswered, if your loneliness makes you cry at night, if you feel like you're stuck in a season of waiting, realize this. Allah hasn't forgotten you. He's refining you. Because the person you're praying for might be praying for someone stronger, and Allah is molding you into that person, even when you can't see it yet. There's something heartbreaking about making sincere dua, crying to Allah in sujood, praying tahajjud, giving charity, and still silence. And that silence hits harder when you see people who barely care about deen, walking hand in hand with someone, engaged, married, settled, while you, the one who's trying to do things right, are still waiting, still alone. It's enough to make you wonder, did I do something wrong? But here's the truth. Sometimes your dua is accepted, but the timing isn't. And in our era, that's even harder to accept. We're used to next-day delivery, instant messaging. If someone doesn't reply to your DM in 2 minutes, you feel ignored. So imagine waiting months, years, and still getting no reply from Allah. Accept more patience, more growth, and more time alone. The problem isn't that your dua was weak. The problem is that your timeline is based on impatience, not preparation. Let's be real. Many of us treat marriage like a solution to loneliness, temptation, or boredom. We say we're ready for halal love, but what we really want is someone to hold our hand through our mess while we're still lost ourselves. That's not love. That's seeking relief, not responsibility. And Allah knows this. That's why, when you ask for something beautiful, He checks if you're truly ready to carry it. The bigger the blessing, the deeper the preparation. You want a spouse who fears Allah, who understands your emotions, who will raise children with you in a home of Islam. But are you that person for them? Are you at peace with your own soul before trying to share it with someone else? Let's flip the question. If someone came to you today, with your current habits, your current weaknesses, your current level of faith, would you trust them with your future? Allah delays what you want because He's giving you what you need. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "A servant will continue to be answered so long as he does not ask for something sinful or cut family ties, and so long as he does not become impatient and say, 'I made dua and I was not answered.'" That one statement shatters the silent frustration many of us carry. Because the moment you assume your dua isn't working, you start turning away from the very one who can grant it. So when your dua goes unanswered, remind yourself, maybe Allah accepted it the first time. He's just saving it for the right time. Maybe the person you're meant to be with is still healing. Maybe you're being protected from a heartbreak that you're not strong enough for yet. Or maybe the version of you who will receive this blessing doesn't even exist yet. So don't throw away your dua. Don't rush Allah's plan. There comes a point when you have to stop asking, "Why isn't anything working out?" and start asking, "Why do I keep choosing what Allah is trying to protect me from?" It's a hard truth. Many people today are stuck in a cycle of chasing the same type of heartbreak in different disguises. The same charming voice, the same flirty behavior, the same disrespect, just packaged in better clothes or smoother texting. Especially in today's culture, where attraction is pushed as everything. Looks, vibes, banter. And sadly, many Muslims fall into this trap. You meet someone who makes you laugh, who says inshallah once in a while, who posts Islamic quotes here and there, and you convince yourself maybe this is the one. But deep down, your gut knows. The red flags were waving from day one. They never mention salah. They get annoyed when you set boundaries. They don't want to talk about nikah seriously. But you overlook it. Because you're tired, because you're lonely, because they make you feel wanted. For now. Let's be real. How many of us are addicted to temporary attention and then call it love? And when it falls apart, we cry, We pray and then go back to chasing the exact same pattern again. This is why sometimes Allah delays your soulmate. Because you're not asking for the right one, you're asking for a repeat of the same emotional chaos, and He's too merciful to let you keep breaking your own heart. There's a powerful line in the Quran, not just about outcomes, but about what we even desire. It may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and you love a thing which is bad for you. But Allah knows, and you do not know. Read that again. Because sometimes the delay is not because your dua isn't pure. It's because your definition of good is still rooted in pain. The Prophet ﷺ once gave a deeply raw warning. And this isn't just about who you marry, it's about who you even allow near your heart. A person is upon the religion of their close friend, so let one of you look at whom he befriends. That hadith hits different when you realize it includes emotional closeness, the people you keep texting, calling, sharing secrets with. Every person you emotionally open up to, you're letting them influence your faith, whether you realize it or not. So next time you find yourself drawn to someone just because they feel right, pause. Ask, is it love or just chemistry based on unresolved wounds? Because the heart can trick you. The nafs can crave validation and call it love. But Allah, He doesn't want you to settle for pain with a pretty face. He delays your soulmate not to punish you, but to reset your compass, to detox your heart from what feels familiar but isn't right, to show you that your true match isn't someone who gives you butterflies. It's someone who gives you peace. So if you're still attracting the wrong ones, maybe it's time to stop chasing your type and ask Allah to guide you to the person He knows is best for you. Let's slow down for a moment. Because when people say, "Why hasn't my soulmate come yet?" what they often mean is, "Why hasn't the life I imagined arrived yet?" The wedding, the romantic Instagram-worthy journey, the perfect home, the children, the peaceful life. It's all future-oriented. It's all results. But in reality, Allah doesn't just care about where you're going. He cares about who you're becoming along the way. You see, delays in life aren't punishments. They're pauses for transformation. Sometimes you're not being held back from your soulmate. You're being held in a space where your soul still needs work. Your mindset, your priorities, your emotional maturity, your relationship with Allah. And here's where we need to be brutally honest. In this generation, many people are preparing for a wedding, not a marriage. Let me say that again. People are preparing for the event, not the journey. They want a partner who fits the image, not someone who will elevate their akhlaq, remind them of prayer, support their deen, and raise righteous children with them. And worse, in many circles today, especially in universities, on social media, and even in some families, marriage has become more about status than about faith. Now ask yourself this. When someone is looking for a spouse today, what's at the top of the list? A six-figure job, a luxury car, an accent, a certain passport. Tall, confident, rich. Some even say, if he's not making this much per month, don't even talk to me. Sisters are being told to marry only for money. Brothers are told to chase beauty and followers. And somehow, we still wonder why barakah is missing. Let's not forget the words of the Prophet ﷺ. And this hadith should shake our priorities back into place. If someone with good character and deen comes to you with a proposal, then marry him. If you do not, there will be great fitna, chaos, and corruption in the land. Look around. That fitna is happening right now. Women being forced into toxic relationships because the man was wealthy. Men walking away from women of strong deen because she's too simple. Families rejecting righteous matches because their house wasn't big enough. And so, Allah delays your match. not to deprive you, but to protect you from being chosen for the wrong reasons or choosing others for the wrong ones. Because if you're focused only on the outcome, the marriage, the status, the comfort, you might miss the most important journey of all, becoming the kind of person that Allah wants to bless with a righteous spouse. So next time you wonder why things haven't fallen into place yet, ask yourself this: are you growing into the kind of person you're asking Allah to send you? Because maybe the delay isn't about what's missing on their side. Maybe it's about what still needs healing on yours. And don't assume silence means rejection, because the most beautiful thing is this: Allah heard you. Even when your voice broke, even when all you could say was, Ya Rab. And He's not ignoring you. He's preparing the version of your life that fits the exact love you're praying for. Let's be real. When things don't go our way, we usually take it personally. Why is this happening to me? What am I doing wrong? Why does everyone else find love so easily, but I'm still here, waiting, praying, hoping? But here's a truth that doesn't always feel comforting, yet it's absolutely necessary to hear. Sometimes Allah delays what you want to protect you from what you can't see. Think about it. How many people rushed into a relationship that looked like a blessing, but ended in trauma? How many people cried to Allah for something or someone that would have broken them beyond repair? You don't see the fights that would have started 6 months into the marriage. You don't see the betrayals, the emotional manipulation, the hidden addictions, the family drama, the spiritual damage. You don't see the future that Allah already knows would have destroyed your peace and pulled you away from Him. So when that one relationship falls apart, when the proposal vanishes after months of discussion, when you're ghosted by someone who claimed to be religious, don't always ask, why me? Ask instead, Ya Allah, what were you protecting me from? Because delayed love is often disguised mercy. And here's something to reflect on deeply. Some people are tests, not partners. Some marriages are traps, not destinations. And if Allah loves you, He'll slam the door before you walk into a house that was never meant to become a home. He'll take people out of your life to protect your akhirah. He'll remove the ones who would have made you forget your salah. He'll block the path to someone who would have slowly poisoned your self-worth or your iman. There's a powerful ayah in the Quran that captures this exact wisdom. But perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you. And Allah knows while you know not. Let that sink in. You might be stuck in regret, while Allah just wrote a better future for you that you'll only understand years from now. And here's something else we forget. Sometimes the delay isn't about you not being ready. It's about them not being ready to receive someone like you. You've been working on your faith. You've healed from old wounds. You're not perfect, but your heart is sincere. And the last thing Allah wants is for you to waste that sincerity on someone who doesn't deserve it. So if Allah is keeping you alone right now, if He's making you wait longer than everyone else around you, don't see it as a rejection. See it as a divine redirection. Allah is pulling you away from what looks good to guide you to what is good. And when it finally arrives, you'll realize the waiting was worth every second. Some people won't like to hear this, but it's the truth. Allah didn't create you to get married. He created you to worship Him. Marriage is a gift, yes, but it's not your life's mission. And when we forget that, when we make a spouse the goal instead of the gift, we end up chasing people instead of chasing our purpose. Let's pause for a moment. Ask yourself, have you delayed your own goals, waiting for someone to complete you? Have you put your personal growth, your dreams, your deen on hold for the idea of love? So many people are living like their life hasn't started yet because they're not married. But here's the raw truth. Marriage doesn't fix emptiness, it exposes it. If you don't know who you are right now, if your heart isn't grounded in something deeper, then no partner can give you the peace you're looking for. And this is where many people go wrong. They think Allah is punishing them with delay, but in reality, Allah is preserving their path, giving them time to find their identity, to serve Him, to fulfill the purpose that existed before their soulmate was even born. In the Quran, Allah makes our purpose crystal clear. And I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship me. That's your core assignment, not wedding photos, not perfect couple goals. Worship, service, impact, sincerity, and here's something most people forget. Sometimes the delay in marriage is the only reason you even turn back to Allah. If you had gotten what you wanted earlier, would you still be waking up for tahajjud? Would you still be crying in sujud? Would you still be reading Quran, not for show, but because your heart actually needs it? That lonely season you're in, that time when everyone else seems to be moving on with their lives. That's where your soul is being built. It's where Allah is saying, "Come to me before I bring someone to you." And here's the irony. Once you find your purpose, once you become fulfilled in your relationship with Allah, that's usually when He sends the right person. Not someone to complete you, but someone who respects you, who aligns with your values, who walks beside you, instead of distracting you from where you're going. Because if you don't know your purpose, you'll accept anyone just to feel loved. But when you know your mission, you'll only accept someone who helps you fulfill it. So if your soulmate hasn't arrived yet, maybe it's because you're still becoming the person who's ready for the type of love that honors Allah. And that kind of love, it's worth the wait. Because it doesn't just come with rings and romance. It comes with barakah, with peace, with prayers whispered in the dark that only Allah hears. Let's make something very clear. Marriage is beautiful. It's a sunnah. It's a form of worship, and it completes half your deen. So no, this video was never about discouraging it. It was about understanding the delay, not resenting it. Because there's a huge difference between something being denied and something being delayed for the right reason. And yes, the wait can hurt. Scrolling through wedding photos, being asked, "When's your turn?" Watching everyone else build a life while yours still feels like it's on pause. But sometimes that wait is the most sacred part of your journey. Because in that space of loneliness, that's where Allah builds something inside you. A kind of reliance that no person could ever give you. A strength that doesn't break when people leave. A love that isn't based on conditions, attention, or appearance, but on Iman. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Marriage is part of my sunnah, and whoever does not follow my sunnah has nothing to do with me." So yes, pursue marriage, but pursue it through the halal path. Don't rush into haram relationships out of fear that no one's coming. Don't lose your values chasing someone who doesn't fear Allah, and don't ever think being single for a while makes you less worthy. Because maybe, just maybe, you were meant for something higher. And now, before we close, I want you to comment this short dua to anchor this message in your heart and share it with others. Ya Allah, write for me the love that brings me closer to you. Say it, type it, let others read it and feel less alone. And if this video reminded you to trust Allah's plan, hit the like button, share it with someone waiting in silence, and subscribe for more reminders that heal, not just entertain. Because your story isn't stuck, it's just being written by the one who knows every perfect detail.